From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more months of checks. Then we'll go over the recon, $3.5 trillion of money for you. We'll go over what some of that $3.5 trillion will be paying you for. A lot of checks and a lot of money and a lot of details in this breaking news report. Then we cut to the third part of the video, which is the vote. Tomorrow on Tuesday, there will be a vote. But that vote is not what you think it's for. It's just to rush up the process and get it done. It's all great news, and I'll explain the details about what's happening on Tuesday. And then we cut to the exciting great details across the board of fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime if you're on anything from SSI to VA benefits. It was promised to you during the campaign trail, and now it's coming to fruition in this fall. I have all the incredible details in this breaking news report. And then we cut to the big money that viewers continue to get. $5,000 to $25,000 viewers are getting hourly from this channel. I'll go over how you can get this big money as well. It's a big afternoon. It's a big day. I'm excited for you to be here. We're going to get to all those breaking details starting right here, right now on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful week. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me on this big afternoon's LA broadcast. There's so much breaking news. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. It warmed up here again in Southern California. Oh, we just had 2 beautiful days and the heat is heating up. So is the heat heating up in Congress. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, a lot of breaking news today. We'll be going over that monthly stimulus check, how many months of checks those Democrats will be giving you. Then we cut to the exciting details of the recon. The reconciliation has an agreement. Yes, an agreement of a price tag of $3.5 trillion. Lots of checks, $3.5 trillion of them. I'll go over some of the checks you'll be getting. And then we cut to the big money across the board and the vote that's anticipated for Tuesday. I'll go over what that vote means and why a non-vote or a failing of the vote means nothing for us. I'll go explain all the details of the complicated process at hand. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime as promised during the campaign trail. It's coming to fruition, everything from my veterans to my beneficiaries. And then we got to the big money that viewers continue to get, like Nisi, who got $23,000 from this channel. You could be the next Nisi, and this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning and then taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is a new show of Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m., followed by Overnight's Crypto and then Sirloin. So move on over and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. I want you to subscribe and be part of this incredible family of informed, educated, and positive, forward-thinking people. Hit that like button, too. 3,000 likes. Don't forget to like the video. It helps in the algorithm rankings. And consider becoming a member. Let's get right into that monthly stimulus check. Boy, the times have changed. 3 weeks ago, we said maybe the pandemic may be over and the legislators may not give you more than just 1 year checks on the House side. And then 2 weeks ago, I said it looked like maybe LA County was saying we're not over, and Warren Buffett said we're not over. Now, we're not over. Wall Street throughout much of the day on Monday was crashing down upwards of 700 points because of concerns that the pandemic is certainly not over anymore. The number of cases in 50 states is skyrocketing because of Delta. And House Bill Pandemic Plus 1 year looks like the one that could pay a lot more. That would be Pandemic Plus 1 year monthly stimulus checks sent until December, July to December. Let's look at the payouts. $1,000 after the first month for the House, and Senate monthly unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. The time has really just changed so dramatically because it was 2 weeks ago we said, well, maybe not over. Then a week ago I said LA and Warren Buffett saying not over. And then by late Thursday last week, I said LA County has reversed our mask mandate. We're putting them back on. Today and all throughout Monday, the pandemic's ravaging across 50 states was causing the stock market to crash, signaling that the pandemic's not over. So that would mean the House bill would likely pay more than just 1 year, which would be more than $13,000. And that would compare to this. How? Jump in live chat right now and vote House or Senate. House or Senate, I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Boy, things are changing quickly. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent that they're going to give it to you if you got a third. $1,400 stimulus check was the third one. What will happen with the fourth one? Well, the Democrats represent single individuals, $75,000 less. You get a fourth stimulus check. The Democrats represent a married couple, $150,000 less. You get a fourth stimulus check, double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, or Veterans benefits, you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check is not a different amount for different people. It will be the same for everyone that Democrats represent. And the fourth stimulus check is not waivable. As yesterday, on Sunday, when I live streamed from the beach, someone in the live chat said, hey, can you wave to the check on the beach? I just love when the viewers have the jokes as much as I do. So I tried to wave at the check. The check did not wave back. And there was that check again. Rude check. There it was on the check. So to that viewer that had a hilarious comment on the live stream at the beach, yes, on Sunday, 2 stars, 3 stars for you. So there you go. The fourth stimulus check would land in the month of July for the month of July the Democrats represent, and the month of August for the month of August. And away we go. Now, they can still get it done for July. I'm going to go over in the second part of this video the exciting great news. We have a deal. We have a deal. $30.5 trillion is the deal price tag on the recon. That's $3.5 trillion of checks for you. The entire recon is just checks. As one viewer in the live chat yesterday said, it's social infrastructure. Yeah, it is. It's checks for the American people, $3.5 trillion of them. And there's checks for everyone, seniors, workers, every single nuance of life. I have some of the details coming up in the second half of this video. In the third part, I go over the vote of Tuesday and why that vote is much of nothing for us, but just important to get things moving along. I'll explain the complicated details in that third part. But here's a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, and it raises up your benefits if you're on anything as a veteran, or SSI and SSDI. It was promised to you during the campaign trail, and they're getting it to the finish line of this fall. It's exciting, great news. I'll have what Jay Powell said about that inflation rate. But I'm going to have some breaking news about the inflation rate today. Oh, boy, it's going the other direction. Yeah, that's coming up in the third part of the second half of this video. But first, let's get some money. Let's get some money. And that is what you have been doing. I got to applaud you. You have been killing it. I have been recording videos on this channel where I said I can get you $5,000 of rent, and viewers are getting $12,000 of rent. I was recording videos where I said I can get you $300 of utilities. Viewers are indicating in the live chat they're getting $3,000 of utilities. And then I was recording in the videos where I can get you, $5,000 to $6,000 of SNAP, because I had a few viewers get it. I have people in the chats getting $12,000 of SNAP. You're killing it. And what's going on? What's going on is what we've always done on this channel. This is a channel that cashes checks and helps you cash checks. Every stimulus package, just like the one we're doing right now for stimulus, which has $3.5 trillion of checks in there, in addition to the issue of stimulus checks, which they represent are in there, there's a lot of other checks in there. In second stimulus, you got a $600 stimulus check, but I said I'll get you $6,000. I got you $15,000. In third stimulus, there was a $1,400 stimulus check. I said I'll get you $14,000. I'm getting viewers $23,000. So jump in the live chat right now. Post your rent that you got from this channel. Post your utilities. Post your SNAP. Post everything you got from this channel. This is what this channel does. In April of last year, I launched this channel for EIDL loan and EIDL grant, but because people were not getting it. We didn't launch it to track the check because there was no check to track. We launched it to get it. And I got, viewers, $25 million of EIDL loans. And then in fall of 2020, the second stimulus wasn't coming, so we weren't tracking it. We were cashing checks. $250,000 of checks we cashed in the fall of last year. Viewers like Tyrone got $15,000 for rent for his family to pay all his rent in Boston till the next year. And we're going to do it right now. So get a pen and paper ready. We're going to go over the big money that I'm going to get you right now in this video. We're going to get rent, utilities, mortgage, and homeowners utilities. Each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, don't stop, go to the next one until they say yes. Apply everywhere. Don't take yourself out of the equation. Say, I don't know if I qualify. Apply. Each place has different eligibility. And get that pen and paper ready. Are you ready? If it must be a Crayola crown, there's nothing muddled about this color. Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Viewers tell me those keywords have really been the big difference for them. And what are the words you don't say? You don't say stimulus, or you don't say Mitch's time on Star Search. Excuse me, sir? You have the wrong department. Yeah, they won't know what you're talking about. So don't talk about stuff that they don't know. So there you go. Congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money. If you got money for rent, post in the live chat right now. Every time you post your success story, 3 things happen. 1, it inspires other people to get it because they see other people are getting it. They say, I'll get it then. 2, it inspires someone to get all the items. Like Art Sullivan, who got 3 items. You may have only gotten 1, and then you see, wait, Art got 3, I'll get 3. And number 3, it inspires me about the numbers, updates me about the numbers. All right, the next pile of money is Snap. Post your Snap if you got this as well. John got $10,000 to $12,000 for his family. Len Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. What is SNAP? It is money for your food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? A fortune. A family of 4 in Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. $15,000 for SNAP for family 4 in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. You're killing it. We're killing it. And we are just getting started. We're at the 12-minute mark. Here we go. The next pot of the money is the money coming back from your states due to overpayment of unemployment benefits due to computer error. One viewer got $3,000. One viewer got $5,000 for this. Where is this landing? Direct deposit. Can you track it? Yeah. Call up your state and say, hey, state, can you track that check due to overpayment of computer error? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And finally, the wonderful last check of money is that refund check back from IRS. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it, but we have some breaking news. IRS reports that we're going to be doing waves of this every week for the rest of the summer. The latest wave, the average payout was $1,265. Wow, that's a lot. Direct deposit started July 14th, and mail checks started July 16th for that wave. There'll be a new wave every week. Wow. How much? Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid. It'll reveal some stuff that you never knew. It'll reveal some stuff you don't want to know. It'll reveal some stuff you don't want people to see. It'll reveal what was Mitch's audition song for Star Search. And it'll reveal the tax return you filed and the refund check you're getting and its date, and that's about 70% of the time. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your Forced Stimulus Check Update 2021, starting right now. Deal. A deal has been reached. Your Forced Stimulus Recon has a deal, and that deal is $3.5 trillion. Wow. The recon is just checks for you, and it will be $3.5 trillion of checks for you. So what they have left to do is actually vote on the recon. That's the easy part. Later in this video, I'll explain to you why this deal, $3.5 trillion, is the big, really step to get to the finish line. And that deal was formulated just out days ago. We initially had a recon that was enormous, that had roads and bridges in there, but it was not passable until they took the roads and bridges out. And then they did, and they took those roads and bridges out about 3-4 weeks ago and shrunk the recon, making two paths, recon and roads and bridges somewhere else, in something called bipartisan. It's important for you on this afternoon's LA to know these terms because, unfortunately, while I only use two terms, recon and bipartisan, on this channel, the president and other people use a lot of other terms. And if you hear one, you may get confused. Which one is that? Let's go over the details of what the other names of these things are. Recon is also called reconciliation. It's also called budget bill. If you see it talked about, it's $3.5 trillion. And if you see someone quoted about it, it's usually Bernie Sanders, Jalopal, the progressives. Bipartisan has other names. Other names for bipartisans are infrastructure, roads and bridges. If you see it quoted or talked about, it has a price tag of $1.5 trillion, much smaller. And the people usually quoted in the article are a Mitt Romney or a Kristen Sinema. Now, by shrinking the recon and taking roads and bridges out and putting the bipartisan, it made the recon passable. And we have that confirmation because now we have an agreement about the price tag. It's been passed for the purposes of the price tag. We have that commentary in a beautiful op-ed by a conservative publication a few weeks ago that said the higher the price tag number was on the recon before, with the roads and bridges in there, the harder it was to pass. There you go, confirmation. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending and put it into the bipartisan roads and bridges, it made the overall price tag of the recon smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Sorry, Mitch, sorry to set you up. But he was basically set up, and he doesn't care because the Republicans, despite the second half of this article 3 weeks ago saying Republicans shouldn't do it, love it now. Republicans love the infrastructure. They adore it, and they're going to get it passed, and they vow to get it passed. And Mitch McConnell has been told to keep silent by his fellow Republicans because they say this is a no-brainer. Just get it done, and zip it. We'll come and do something nasty on the next bill. So there you go. How do we get to this spot? Well, the progressives had told us that after the recon was shrunk, the progressives were going to add stuff back in there, and that they were going to add stuff back in there until they were happy. And now they're happy. $3.5 trillion has been heralded by Bernie Sanders as a historic day in the U.S. in the U.S. society. He says that price tag was absolutely wonderful. And that was what they had been saying going into that agreement. Representative Ilhan Omar, going into the agreement, says we have to have an agreement that regardless of what happens with the bipartisan, we'll get a recon that goes as far as we want it. Got it, $3.5 trillion. She's happy. Progressives were meeting with the White House daily to ensure that the recon was big enough. They got it, $3.5 trillion. And Representative Richie Torres said he wanted the bipartisan big enough. Otherwise, he was not going to vote he wanted the recon big enough. Otherwise, he's not going to vote for the bipartisan. He got it. So there you go. How do they get that place? By the progressives protecting the recon. They really protected it well. Because the White House had said that the progressive priorities in the recon are the White House's own priorities, says Senator Schatz and Jalopal. What's important to understand is what is a recon. A recon is a bill. It actually has two parts, the procedural and the substantive, but I just really do the substantive on this channel because the procedural, who cares? The reconciliation is a bill written by Democrats for Democrats to be passed by Democrats. Who actually writes it? The House subcommittees write it as lead authors, with the Senate subcommittees watching over their shoulders. When those subcommittees of the House write it, they're delegated subjects based upon the Constitution and how they're established. So different subcommittees have different subject matters. House Ways and Means Subcommittee does stimulus checks and unemployment stimulus. That's what they're required to do under the Constitution. While they're doing it, they finally come to a finality, and their number of pages, however many it is, let's say it's 10 pages, and it's 10 subcommittees. Those 10 subcommittees and those 10 pages are eventually sent up to Nancy and Chuck. If it's Chuck, which it likely is, then they're combined 10 of 10, for example, 100 pages, and Chuck puts a big S on it, and that it's your Senate bill. What's important to understand is that during the drafting, editing, voting in the subcommittees, there is no requirement for them to show you what they're doing. The Constitution has no transparency requirement that they have to show you in those subcommittees what they've put in there, what they've not put in there, what they voted for and what they've not voted for. And so what's important to understand is that mainstream media and myself have both universally agreed that they have not revealed to us, the Democrats, what's in the recon. So the fact that they've not revealed it to us is because they're basically doing it like a pop singer who has an upcoming album. Doesn't want to show you the songs on the album until the album's released. And that's all it is. They just don't want to show it to you. They want sort of the excitement to come as one big, massive publicity event. Got it. Very easy. That's why it's absolutely incorrect for anyone to ever jump into the live chat or into the comments saying, I haven't heard of anything in the recon about. No, that's actually wrong. You haven't heard about it because no one has seen it. So there you go. How do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot from Jalapal, who had written Schumer a letter several weeks ago saying Chuck called the vote. Now, Chuck is calling the vote, and I'm going to go over that vote in the third part of this video. That letter was co-signed by 12 House Democrats who are among the 100 plus, yeah, you heard me right, 100 plus, who had written the president a letter saying we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, can we top that? We can. As 7 House Ways and Means subcommittee members, wait, that same subcommittee? Yes, that same subcommittee wrote the president a letter saying we're writing monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. OMG. So they promised to us they're putting monthly fourth stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Let's hold them to their promise. They also say they're doing fifth stimulus checks next year, and they wrote your third stimulus checks before. Wow, can we top that? We can. As that ceremonial signature you saw the president do overseas 4 weeks ago is now law. The president formally, just days ago, signed formally this document you saw him ceremonially sign 4 weeks ago. It's the International Corporate Tax Rate Minimum. If that sounds like a tongue twister, it is. And why is this a big achievement for fourth stimulus? Because you don't need the tongue twister in the fourth stimulus. It's confusing, and now it makes the fourth stimulus easier. Number one benefit, you don't have to write about it in fourth stimulus. Thank goodness. Number two, it's easier to write about it. Number three, easier to call for a vote. It's not in there. Easier to vote on it. It's not in there. And easier to pass it. It's not in there. Can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 of this video, the most important 15 you're going to hear on an afternoon of this day. We're going to go over what's happening on Tuesday, which vote, which bill, what the type of vote is, and what it means. We're going to go over the recon. While you're not supposed to see what's in the recon, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that's in the recon. How did I find it? I'm going to show you wow. Then we cut to the exciting details of what's going on with the bipartisan. They claim it's ready for a vote very quickly. I'm going to show you how quickly your recon will be ready for a vote. We're near the finish line. I'm going to show you how close that finish line is and what you need to do as we come in on that finish line. We'll also go over fifth stimulus, which will raise your benefits up. But what happened with that interest rates on Monday? Ugh. I'll explain what's going on with that. But first, something more wonderful, the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, internet, SNAP, or more, reach out to the volunteers. They are absolutely salt of the earth. They're viewers just like you, helping one another. If you're in the live chat and you're seeing people and you're wondering, I've tried that, I can't get it, I'm having problems. Don't worry, I got your back. The volunteers have your back. Open this description. In the description, you'll see an emoji of a house. Next to that emoji of house is a link to the community page, news.la.com/community. Click the link and it'll send you over the community page. There they are. They're separated from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and different social media accounts. Reach out to them. And they will help you get that rent, utilities, internet, and SNAP and homeowners utilities as well. And I will be back with you in 60 seconds. But here is the exciting details about those volunteers. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA with a lot of breaking news in this final 15 of this video. Coming up is the big, exciting final 15 of fourth stimulus in this video, and we go over fifth stimulus. But what happened with the Treasury yields, which signals where interest rates are going and an impact on fifth stimulus? That's going up next in this video as well. But first, subscribe. This is LA, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, financial news across the board. The most accurate, the most in-depth, and the most detailed reporting you're going to see anywhere. Coming up next is Evenings LA, and then overnights crypto, and then sirloin. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. I want you to hit that subscribe button to be part of this family. Like this video to 3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. All right, let's get right into the exciting, strange details about this stimulus. Strange in that we thought that interest rates were going to continue to go up, but suddenly what happened on Monday? So the president, during his run for the highest office in the land, had promised you a reform of SSI and SSDI that would raise your benefits up. He didn't deliver it. In the transition papers, he said he was going to do it again. He didn't do it. So now congressional leaders have put together their proposal based upon what he promised, and it would be in fifth stimulus. Raising up your benefits, then removing the asset limit, adding an inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, removing the marriage penalty. Let's go over this wonderful, wonderful thing that's finally coming to fruition. Who gets it? You do. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, yes, you, my veterans, and SSA or multiple benefits, your benefits would be raised up one time. Next, they'll apply a new benchmark. You currently have a benchmark, but they're going to do a new one. This fifth stimulus would start about September and go for a vote about October, November, and then the benefits benchmark would be applied right after that. So what is the new benchmark? Inflation. And where is it going? Up. Jay Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, testified on Capitol Hill last week and said the same thing he had said the month before, that inflation is going up to its highest price point by December. He calls it temporary or transitory is his term, meaning that it's going to go up to a spike and then come back down. All last week, Wall Street confirmed my number. 5% interest rate is what they're thinking it's going to spike up at the end of this year before it comes down. But on Monday, Wall Street was just all sort of tizzy as the stock market crashed, and then suddenly the Treasury yields crashed as well to the lowest point of many, many months. Treasury yields are what the interest rate are. So am I revising my analysis? Am I revising my analysis about where that interest rate is going? No. I just think it was a reaction by the Wall Street to a very down week to start. So I'm not going to revise my number at this point. We have a lot more months upon us. So first they'll raise your benefits up, of course. Then they'll apply a benchmark, which of course is going to be up. How up? I'm just going to stay with 5%. Let's say it is 5%. Then your benefits will step up 5%, not just next year. Lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. If the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be at 2 plus 5%. Wow. And then what else? Well, they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you'll be able to have some tacos for Taco Tuesday in your hand, and also some stimulus checks, and maybe some Crayola crowns. They're going to remove the asset cap dating back to income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. Now you'll be able to work if you wish and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. You'll no longer fear loss of benefits and no longer lose benefits. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. Meantime, those legislators represent they're going to put a fifth stimulus check in the fifth stimulus package. Yes, that House Ways and Means Committee represent they're doing a fifth stimulus check as well. The president, meantime, has dedicated fortunes, $1 billion to the Social Security Administration to ensure your benefits go out on time. And finally, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, you need to do two things: file a tax return and request it on the tax return. No way around it. Those are requirements. If you don't know how to do it, go to a tax preparer. Now, if you're in the live chat and you you are not a member and you're seeing people with a purple hawk emoji next to their name and they're like, how did they get that? Consider joining. The link to join is underneath the video. By becoming a member, you're delivered daily a breakdown from me of all the money that's in the third stimulus. Because as I said earlier in this video, you got a $14 stimulus check, but I said I'll get you $14,000. Well, I'm getting viewers $23,000. And we're going to be doing that with fourth stimulus shortly as well. $3.5 trillion. So consider becoming a member so you get delivered all those information daily. All this money is available for you. It's application based so that you can be one of those viewers in the live chat that's posting $10, $20, $15,000 that they're getting across the board. Wow, can we top that? We can. As we go into our final 15, starting right now, of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting this moment. So this week has a lot of excitement. I'm going to go over the recon, the bipartisan, and then go back to the recon. First, the recon. Deal. We have an agreement on the price tag of the recon, $3.5 trillion. Historic in two regards. One, historic because I got it done. The way you do a recon, you first agree upon the number, and then you just slot the items in there. Senator Tim Kaine confirmed this in news over the weekend, and the agreement on just the price tag alone is a major accomplishment because all you have to do now is just slot the numbers in there. Number two is also historic because of the price tag. Bernie Sanders and the progressives had gone into the meetings for the Senate Democrats to reach this agreement on 3.5, asking for 7. And when he agreed to 3.5, he said, I am blessing it. And he said, this is a historic, wonderful day for Americans. Why? He says he can do the same thing he wants for $7 trillion, just in half the amount of time the plans will run. Obviously, 3.5 is half of 7. There you go. Very easy. And so then what is at issue? What's at issue is that this recon has a fortune of checks in there. Now, as I said earlier in this video, we will not see the recon until we see it. So there will not be anything until we see it. And even when we see it, they can still modify it. So if we see something we don't like, we can still push and get them to modify it. That's coming up in a second. But we do have an indication of some of the items that are in there. A conservative publication, for some reason, was able to get a copy of some of the items allegedly in the recon. And it ran an article not to give a comprehensive analysis of everything that's in there. Not to say this is everything, but just to show you some of them, to basically trash talk them, saying, hey, we shouldn't have these items anywhere in our economy. We're growing the debt for this, blah, 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 blah. But it's great news, because guess what? We get an insight as to what's on that pop singer's album before it's released. And it's checks for a lot of different people. Checks for free school meals, checks for tax breaks, checks for prescription medications, cheaper prescription medications, checks for immigration reforms, checks for greener farmers, checks for elections, checks for internet. They're going to give fortunes of money to local cities so that they can have free internet for you. Checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, like unions, and checks for seniors, including checks for dental, vision, hearing aid care, and checks for Medicare expansion as well. Lots and lots of checks. Wow, now that's wonderful news. Let's go over to the bipartisan. So the bipartisan had great news on Thursday when those Republicans and Democrats said, hey, we are going to agree upon the deal items by around Thursday, and we think that that's going to get us done almost by the weekend. They worked over the weekend, and they say that these deal items are easy and we're going to get them done, and that we're going to vote on the bill this week. Vote on the bill this week? The bipartisan? Yeah, that's what they said. Do I agree? I don't agree. I don't think they're going to get it done this week. I think the vote will be next week, and that's what mainstream media thinks as well. Lisa Murkowski, Mitt Romney, Kristen Sinema all said they're ecstatic. But here's my opinion of the situation. I'm ecstatic. Why? Because the recon has to go for a vote before the bipartisan. So if the bipartisan does go for a vote next week, then the recon can go for a vote this week. It doesn't have to, but it can. Remember, recon has to go for a vote before or concurrently with the bipartisan. So before it could be this week, or it could be next week. But there's indication it could be this week. Wow. Okay, so what's going on Tuesday? On Tuesday, there will be a vote, and it'll likely fail. But the vote is not about a bill. The vote is not about your money. The vote is not about stimulus checks. The vote is not about Americans' checks for anything. The vote is not about $3.5 trillion of checks. It's not about any checks. What's the vote on? The vote is the following. Chuck Schumer on Tuesday will have a vote called a cloture vote to end discussion, negotiations on the bipartisan within a few days thereafter. What does that mean? He's basically saying within a few days, just zip it. Stop talking and either call your bipartisan for vote, your bill, or that's it. It's dead. So let's say it again. On Tuesday, he will call a vote on ending discussions, just discussions of the bipartisan, the roads and bridges, the infrastructure, within a few days after Tuesday. It's not a vote on the bill. It's just a vote to end discussions of the bipartisan. What's the purpose of it? To get it done, to rush them. Will it pass? Absolutely not. Republicans and Democrats have both said, no, we're not done. We don't have the bill ready for a vote. If we had the bill ready for a vote, we just call the bill for ready for a vote. So they don't like it. Now, here's what you need to know. I like it. I like that he's doing it. I know it's not going to pass, but I like that Chuck is doing it because it's rushing them. All right. Now, how many steps of voting processes do we need to have done? 12. It doesn't take 12 days. There's 3 bills with 4 steps. We have a recon procedural, recon substantive, and a bipartisan. 3 rounds of 4 steps. Step 1, Senate subcommittee votes on it. Step 2, Senate floor, then House, then President. 4 steps times 3, 12 steps. Next, let's go back to that recon. The recon is getting very, very close to the finish line. And what are Democrats doing at this point? They now have an agreement on the price tag, 3.5 trillion. So what are they doing? They're basically, opening their mouths and their claws and trying to go, like a hawk, trying to grab as much as they can of the 3.5 trillion for their individual pet project. So whether their pet project is Medicare expansion or free internet, they're trying to grab as much money for their pet project. Our project is us. And what you need to know is that these final 14 days are always very, very tight. Now, when I say final 14, I don't represent a warranty or promise that everything will be done in 14, but it looks like it's going to be done in 14 days. And when they get to these final days, things move quickly. And I want to show you how quickly things move and how important it is for you to push. Number 1, this is not a time and place to be a donut guy. When. If you have a sentence that starts with the sentence when, you're a donut guy, because this is not the time and place. When is my vote? When is my check? When is it sent? When is a donut guy? We've never been donut guys. We have an emoji. No donut guys on the channel. You have to be a purple hawk. You have to be a purple power. You have to push and say, do you get it done? Get it done. You don't ask them. You tell them. Get it done. Send it out. Get these checks out. Make them multiple. Make them big. You tell them. You don't ask them. You push purple power. That's why it's called purple power push. You don't ask them, hey, politely, can you tell me when? No, we push. You need to get this done. That's the sort of the difference between donut guy and us. It's important to understand that when we went to the second stimulus package, there was a very quick movement in those final 14 days. In those final 14 days, we had seen nothing done. There was months of second stimulus negotiations, starting with the HEROES Act, which started in April, and we saw nothing done. And we're heading into December, we're heading to Christmas, and we saw nothing anywhere. So we had a continuing resolution budget bill to pay for the federal government's running of its operation. And I said, solely came up on this channel, let's put stimulus checks in the continuing resolution budget bill. People thought I was crazy. They thought I was wacko. They said, who's that crazy kid that's saying put stimulus checks in the continuing resolution? It doesn't belong in there. I said, I don't care if it belongs in there. Put it in there. And we did. We pushed and we came up with CR for stimulus, trended on nationally on social media, and we got CR for stimulus to the attention of legislators. And they said, yeah, good idea. Let's put some stimulus in the CR. And then one day we woke up and saw they put the wrong stimulus. They put unemployment stimulus, which is good for some people, but not what we're asking. We said, hold up. We asked for stimulus checks. So suddenly we did stimulus. We did CR, seats for stimulus, that said, you either do this right or get out. We had days in which we woke up in the morning with someone saying in Congress, we're not putting a stimulus check in the CR. And then other hours where someone saying, we're going to put multiple checks. Some hours, someone saying, we're going to restrict the level of who gets it. We're going to broaden the level who gets it. It was just changing by the hour. And then I specifically remember, if you watched a Sunday's live stream from the beach by me, it was exactly where I was then that I remember at the time Pat Toomey in December 2020 waking up one day saying, I'm going to blow up the whole second stimulus. You're not going to get anything. I'm going to derail it because I don't like this, because I want this Toomey provision in there. It became the Toomey provision. And we said, oh no, what is this? And we pushed back. Mitt Romney pushed back, got him to agree on, and got it done. And the stimulus check went out. It's important to see that you need to push down to the finish line. There's no time or place to say, well, no. Here's what you need to know, is that we're not going to see that recon bill until it comes out of those subcommittees and Chuck calls it for a vote. And even when it's called for a vote, they can modify it. Remember, there's modification every step of the way. It's not very clear whether we're going to go back to a vote-a-rama when it comes back to the Senate. People have been asking me that question. I'm not really clear. It's starting on the Senate side, going to the House. I don't know if they go back to a vote-a-rama, but they can still make modifications. I believe there is a vote-a-rama. I think there is a vote-a-rama on the Constitution, despite where it starts. They can still make modifications to stimulus checks down to the hour. So you need to push. Absolutely have to push. Finally, information. Information is king. And this channel's success started on day one when showing people why their EIDLs were not getting approved. Strange nuances of information that I was able to deliver got people out of something called the Vortex 330 or 48. People's applications were stuck because they lacked the information to get them out of that process. You have been absolutely incredible since day one of this channel, being able to grasp information and win with it. Here's what's happening on Tuesday. On Tuesday, there will be a vote, and I went over that vote. But also on Tuesday, there's going to be a lot of people who don't value information, don't value learning about what something is, just want to hear a word and jump to a conclusion, whether they're a negative nanny or whether they really don't care to take the time to hear what it is. And they're going to jump in the live chat, jump in the comments, and they're going to say wrong things. Push back with them and educate them about what the correct thing is. They're going to say, these incorrect people on Tuesday, they called the vote on your stimulus check. No, they didn't. They called the vote on the recon. No, they didn't. They called the vote on the something for us, and it didn't have a stimulus check in. No, they didn't. They called the vote on the infrastructure bill. No, they didn't call the vote on the infrastructure bill. Well, they called the vote on, and then maybe they get it right. They called the vote on the infrastructure ending discussion, and it didn't pass, so we're not getting anything. No one thought that was going to pass, so that's not a surprise. It has nothing to do with anything. So information is certainly going to get very a king here very quickly. And as you go into that vote on Tuesday, people who don't value information, people who want to just sort of jump in the live chat, who are not members, not subscribers, and sort of want to just jump in there and say things that are just sort of wacko, you need to push back with them, because ultimately it's not the time or place for people who are not informed to sort of push their lack of information upon people who've taken the time, like you, to get informed. And with that, I look forward to seeing you this evening on Evenings LA, where I have a lot more information for you as well. It's a full day with a lot of programming. And then coming up is Overnight's Crypto and Sirloin. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Never forget to like the video. It helps the algorithm ranking. It also delivers a side of parsley. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, so you learn about the big money that's available for you in third, fourth, and fifth stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with Ally for more.